Hello everyone, my name is SiC. Welcome back to Factorio, where we are playing Space Age. We are currently on Fulgoran, and I am about to set up... Alright, let's go, because I'm tired of waiting already. We're going to be setting up the next thing for space science, which is supercapacitors. Now, we are going to be building that on this island right here. We really need to up our stone production, because this honestly is never going to cut it. This is pitiful. But let's set up the production of supercapacitors right now. Now for that we need electromagnetic plants, and I should have looked at that before because I don't have them in my pocket. And I'm going to have to go back to base to get it. It's been a few days since I've been able to play, because I've been distracted with my friends. We have currently made it to Gleba, and that is a mindfuck, let me tell you. It is completely different in almost every way. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm not sure if I told you, but I did expand towards this island over here, just to show you really quick. I'm not sure, like I said, if I did. But here we have a pretty deep scrap mine of 19 million, so that is going to take us a while to mine out, because it's just basically super deep. I made a refueling station over here, and I guess by now I'm pretty sure that I showed you, but yeah, because this is a bit of a setup, you know, takes some time. But basically all of our trains now are going to go to refuel over there when they get below a certain amount of time. But these things are actually super efficient, I think. And they're not going to drain for a very long time, so we're all going to be good on that front. And yeah, we have the rocket drop off, so we have this connection over here where everything comes in. And yeah, that's about it. We have a rocket to get off planet. We have our science material drop off that we set up last episode, where we are basically getting all of this stuff, but we are already very low on this stuff, on copper plates, and we need more of them. Now here we are getting rid of basically everything. Yeah, because we are recycling the red computer chips, which leads to this stuff over here, which was getting taken off. But this is full, and I used to def cycle it, but I am no longer doing that because I need to save up on this stuff a little bit. But I guess maybe this is the wrong place to do that, because this basically dead ends over here, right? No, actually this goes down over here and goes down this way. So maybe this def cycle here is a thing we need to keep going, I suppose. Yeah, I also hooked up, like I said, of course, the scrap, so we are fully producing once again, and we'll have to see when this stuff backs up, because here we already have the problem of red computer chips, and this def cycle doesn't work for that, because we need to be able to scrap all of the other things as well. So this thing is going to fill up with red belts, and that is really unfortunate. So we need a different design for this, I guess, but I can't come up with one right now. I want to go over to the other side and make that next part of our research, and later we'll find a better solution. Alright, so we want to make something that is kind of scalable. So I am thinking I will make a area right here, right about there, I guess, that is going to be making supercapacitors for us. Now let's see what the input for this looks like. We have input for the electrolyte going sideways, that is absolutely fine. I guess we'll well, no, we can make a space of 1. Let's make 6 of these, and then we'll have to hook all of these up like so, little conga line. We have the storage for that over here, so we need to hook that up. So we have an input over here. I don't think we have an output, because this stuff doesn't need it. Crap, and I need to make a bunch of pipe to grounds. Alright, I'll hook this up and I'll be right back. Alright, I hooked up the electrolytes, which is basically just going up over here towards the corner of the island, then going sideways and then going up to this corner, and then it's connected. So we have a lot of free space over here still. Now as for this, we have 4 inputs and we need 1 output, which is yeah, a little bit tricky. I guess so we'll have to have 2 inputs on the side and we'll have to combine these items. So when we look at supercapacitors, we don't need a ton of everything. We could stack up electronic circuits and batteries maybe, and holmium plates and superconductors on the one side, and then we'll have an output on the other side. So let us see, we need both of these, so we're just going to connect these up. Let us see, we're going to connect this up like that. This one is going to go up like that, and then going to go along with it. And we'll go up across this side. And I guess what we'll do then is we'll follow this curve right there. We're not going to go all the way inside, I don't think, unless maybe, yeah, maybe later when we really need it. I don't think we do right now. Alright, so we have batteries here. This is an interesting opportunity. We need to be up this space. So actually we can put a splitter right there. And do 2 splitters like that. And that will work out quite nice. We'll just move this along the side, like so. We'll have an input just on the right side of these machines, I suppose. Doesn't really matter. And that is a 1 input. Then we need superconductors and electronic circuits. Now we need a lot of electronic circuits, so I'm thinking I will just hook those up on the top side. We'll go underneath here, like so, and follow along until we reach that area. And I need to make a bunch of these, and then we'll have another input. What do we have left? The superconductors, right? So again, this needs to be a scalable design later on. We'll grab a splitter right there so we can double this up, and we'll also follow this one up along to the top because we can. We'll go a little bit sideways. Alright, and then here we'll have an input on that side. And I think I need to make a bunch of these as well. Alright, I'll finish hooking this up and I'll be right back. Alright, it is hooked up and we have unlocked electromagnetic science packs. So this is the science that we need. And what do we need for this? We need supercapacitors, which we're just now making, accumulators, electrolyte, and holmium solution. Wow. Alright, that is an interesting combination. I mean, we have plenty of holmium solution here. We have still got plenty of electrolyte here, though we may need to scale this up, and that will absolutely be fine. Then accumulators. We are not making accumulators here. But to make accumulators, what do we need? We need batteries, which we are bringing over here, and we need iron plates. Ooh, and we are now completely out of power, so we don't have enough storage. That is another problem to fix. But do we have something here that allows us to make iron plates? Like, what does this filter out? Green computer chips. No. Alright, so we need to bring iron over here, I guess. Because I don't think I can make this anywhere else without a lot of extra logistics. I mean, nothing is impossible. But then I need to get this solution over here to another place. I need to bring the electrolyte over to another place. I need to bring the accumulators. We can make the accumulators somewhere else. But we are also bringing batteries over here, and that is also a limited resource. I guess it's possible, because we do also need that to be scalable, right? Like, that's the thing. And we would prefer that to be close to the rocket drop-off site. So maybe we can turn this island over here into something useful for that. So we'd have to pick up something over here. And then we could go down over here. We can have this rail continue down over this side and go back over here. Now we will have a little loop on the left hand side, I suppose. I think that will be okay. Meanwhile, these things are producing enough, so that's nice. I don't think I need this for anything else, but then also where are we going to load that stuff? Right, like whole WIMP solution, yes, we can get from somewhere else. I mean, the most efficient thing would be to do it right here, I suppose. We just need another station to get iron. And since we cannot recycle anything here to get iron, we'll have to be a little bit creative. Meanwhile, it is probably time to queue up some useful researches. Cliff explosives, for one, would be very useful. There are some things here that we could research, but we don't have the science packs for them right now, because we need to research them, or we need to make the research here first. So we'll do just some basic things. We'll do stronger explosives, because why not? You know, stronger stuff is always good. Refined flammables increases the damage of fire-based weaponry. I guess we'll also research coal liquefaction just to have that available to us. Though at the moment we don't really need it, I don't think. And then we'll just keep that. I don't want to research too many artillery things yet, at least the range, because the bigger the range of the artillery shells, the more biter nests that we will trigger when they start firing, the more biters we will have to kill. Yeah, before we get safe, basically. And they have a chance of breaking through the walls, because I have not been, challenged so much that I have built super strong walls, basically. In the meantime, you may notice I'm building a little bit of a train station here that is on this island next to the refueling station and before the rocket drop-off. So I want to see if I can make a little station here. That is too far. Let's see, can we make... Yes, there we go. That is what we want. Right, we'll put a signal there, we'll put a signal over here. Same thing over here. Regular signals over here and a train signal in the front. We can put a train station right there. Maybe we need a little bit more of everything. Well, we'll see. I need to make some protection for this island as well. I have not done that so far. But there is some natural protection, well, natural, basically from the ruins over here as well, which is super useful. We'll build one thing over here. So we're not going to touch any of these pylons, I don't think. We're just going to empty out that space, and then we'll, well, maybe we'll replace them, right? Because these things will not absorb energy, I don't think, or maybe they will. I actually have no idea. Yeah, that's the thing that we need to keep in mind. Alright, we have a space over here that we can use. We'll hook up these connections as well, so that we can have some power over on this island. Alright, we'll hook that up like so, and then of course we will be putting down some accumulators over here because we need power. Alright, I widened the thing a little bit more because we need more space to unload stuff. Now as for this science pack, what we need here is we need to have supercapacitors and accumulators. So actually this is not that difficult. We'll use some filters over here to filter out supercapacitors on the one side. What was the other thing that we needed? Accumulators, right. So we'll put some accumulators as a filter on the other side. Now on this side we have the electrolyte being pumped out here, and we have the holmium solution being pumped out on the other side. I built a locomotive, I built a cargo wagon, and I built a fluid wagon. So this will all work just fine. We need to fill this thing with some fuel, and then we'll call this science input, I guess. Right, there's no other science input. We have science material and so on. So that is okay. Alright, so then we just need to make sure that we have some storage solution. We'll put some tanks on this side, I guess. And we need another storage solution. I guess we'll put that over here. We'll be able to reach that somehow, you know. It's not going to be a huge deal. That was not correct. Alright, there we go. We'll have some solution or some storage over here, and that will be fine. Alright, so we'll hook that up so that we have maybe we'll go up a little bit. That is about it. Alright, that works out. So we'll hook that up over here. We'll have the same type of solution over here. We'll go this way, because we need to create a little bit of space for that stuff to do its work. We'll go underneath here. And I guess we'll hook it up over here, just to make some use of the length of that pipe. Alright, I need to make some boxes, but I cannot make enough right now, so that is a little bit unfortunate. But we'll take out 3 for the moment. Or actually, we don't want that, right? We want to take this one out. That one is going to be taken out, and then we'll probably have enough. Indeed we do. Now we just need to make a station where we can pick up all of these items. Alright, so my thinking has changed a little bit. To get this here efficiently, I think what we're going to do is we are going to switch these things around. So we're going to get rid of this and get rid of this, and we'll turn this around. So we'll have the pumps up here and the other outputs down here, and the reason for that I'll explain in a moment. But yeah, what we need to do here is we need to pick up oil, right? So not oil, electrolyte pickup. Right, so we'll give this a nice little color, I guess. Less green, just do dark purple. Alright, I did make another train, and now we need to think really hard, because what we have left here is the holmium solution. So here we'll have the other output, so that needs to be the front of this train, and I'll have this in the back. Cold liquefaction, by the way, has now finished, so we'll research something else. I guess we will do laser weapons damage. That will be okay. We don't have power right here. Or, well, I mean fuel. So we'll put some fuel into that train. Now I need to think very carefully, because what we need here is electrolyte, and we need a supercapacitor. So on this train, let me see, I need to think very carefully. Yeah, so this is over here, so the end here is going to unload supercapacitors. So we'll load the supercapacitors over here. And then we'll need to grab the other stuff from the other island, which will be perfectly fine. Alright, so we'll grab some lights over here, and the supercapacitors need to be routed up here and connected to this train, as well as the electrolyte. Alright, both of those are now connected up, and we just need to make sure that this train can actually connect to our train network, but we'll do that right over here, I think. It's a nice little, let's see how we can connect. We can connect like that. Alright, perfect. We'll have inputs, or I could change signals before and the other signals after. And then we'll have to divide this up into little segments. So we'll put this thing right about there. One over here. One over there. And finally, I guess, one over here. And it should, nah, it doesn't quite fit, but that will be okay. Alright. So this thing is going to go from electrolyte pickup to science input. So it is going to have the refueling Fulgoran interrupt. Here it is going to wait until it has actually a full cargo. Time passed or inactivity. And here it is going to wait for empty cargo. Time passed or inactivity. And then we'll set this to automatic. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that this is a double train, and most of our trains have actually only got the one input, which is a little bit yeah, unfortunate. Anyway, we will have to yeah, because most of my distances are based on one wagon length. That's the problem that we are facing here. Alright, so we will have an output over here and another output over here. This one is going to be filtering out supercapacitors. Alright, and we'll have our chests, and that will be nice. Here we need to put this thing, and these things will filter out electrolytes. And then here we'll filter out the electrolyte like this. Hooked up, perfect. We will manually drive this thing a little bit further because we can, so that this thing can now unload. Alright, that is nice. Now this thing needs to go to the main base, and we'll have to put another pickup over there. This thing can hold here for a little while. We'll just walk over there and fix our next pickups. Now the tricky part is that here we don't really have space to make more pickups. I kind of screwed myself on that one, I guess. Yeah, we have this cliff that's in the way, so this only really works in the way that it is set up right now. Yeah, that is honestly kind of unfortunate. So I'm thinking we will have to pick up or put down a station over here. And yeah, it's just the way it has to be, I guess. There's no other way. That's it. We'll have to make do. I had no idea this was actually also not really broken up into segments that well. Alright, so this is going to be... what are we going to call this? Accumulator pickup. Alright. So what we need here is we have this train. We have a front where we are going to need these, and we need some pumps on the back end for the holmium solution. Now we're not making a lot of all of the things that we need, and I think honestly the only way that we can scale up the factory is to make one island a central recycling area, because this is messy as hell. It's a nice starter factory, I suppose, but I guess what we really need is like a big island like this, where we bring all of the scrap, we sort it, and we just load it onto different trains, and each train with each item, so that would be like 10 or 12 trains, one for each of these items. We'll bring it to a separate island, and then we recycle it further, and then we bring that material down to where we need it. But yeah, that is something that requires a lot of time, a lot of patience. And I could bring that up. I guess like I could find that patience, I suppose. But yeah, it's not necessary for right now, I don't think. But if we needed to have like a ton of something, we could definitely do that. Alright, so we are bringing a holmium solution, like I said, yeah. And the problem here now is we need to use 2 inputs of this stuff on this island, which is really not ideal. Alright, we'll go like this. Oh, come on, come on. Alright, there we go. We'll hook that up, and now we need to find accumulators. Well, we are making accumulators over here. The problem is that if I recall them by robots, they're going to be flying across this area, and that is going to be hit by lightning storms, and it is going to cost me a lot of robots. So what instead we are going to have to do is bring everything over by transport belt, unfortunately. But I think that's the only way. So we have some long-headed inserters that we can use right there. Right, and then we'll have, come on. I guess, well, that's okay, I suppose. We'll just have one for actual backup. Alright, so I'm going to go all the way down the painful way. And then I'll be right back. And this is now also fixed. It is a little bit long and tricky, but yeah. It's going to work out quite nicely, and also it keeps this flowing, but look at our... yeah, this is definitely a problem we need to get rid of. Man, and there's no easy way to destroy it. We'll fix it later. For now, we need to get this train to go to my accumulator pickup, and then it's going to go to the science input. Right, and here of course we're just going to wait for a full cargo, time passed, or inactivity, etc, etc. I think it's about time we find a long-term solution for this problem. And I have something in mind, I suppose. But yeah, we have to make use of the space that we have over here. So we'll make a couple of extra recyclers. Oh wow. Oh, that's new. I guess it had to happen at some point, but yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate. Anyway, we'll go on the ground like this. And we'll go like that. And we'll have underground belt right there. We'll have one right about there. And we don't need that one specifically, but we can build one over here. Connect these ones up. And I suppose here we can double this stuff up. Yeah, because we have a nice area over here that we can utilize. Alright, so we're going to get a bunch of recyclers, right? Like so. And these ones are going to go like so. And yeah, I have no idea if we're going to be able to find a super effective solution for this, but we will output this over here. And we'll go in a little circle. Right, and we're going to go ahead and filter out each item. So we'll filter out the green computer chips over here, filter out the copper cables over here, and we'll filter out the plastic bars over here. Now we need a, yeah. Right, we'll make a little thing over here. We'll get rid of these ruins. The plastic. We can get rid of over here in an endless loop. The copper cable. We have this stuff over here. We could connect that up, I suppose, if we build a few more recyclers. Yeah, we'll also have to fix this area up, I suppose. We'll have some recyclers over here. And actually these need to go up just a little bit. Alright, and we'll have an input for these as well. Right about there, and this actually outputs this stuff, which we could ask for this in a blue requested chest, I suppose, and then the robots will fly, yeah, like this. I guess they'll technically we could. They're actually kind of protected over here. We could make one over here. I guess we'll make another one over there, just to get maximum protection out of it. I will hook these up to the lighting system. We don't make these automatically yet, but then at least that is nice insofar as that we have a storage solution for all of this stuff. And then the green computer chips we also kind of need. Right, so we can store that until a certain amount, and then that will be okay. We'll double this up over here, and then that will be okay in the end. We could also filter this out. Well, actually we can hook this up to a green wire, to this one, to this chest. Read contents. Yes. Enable, disable. If we have more, then I don't know how many you can fit in here. Let's say 5,000. We're going to get rid of these. And some more recyclers. And we'll filter these down to metal, or iron plates I should say, and copper cables as well. So those copper cables could then come on. Alright, we'll put these out like this, I suppose. Alright, we'll have a little belt loop like this going on. We'll have these outputs over here. Come on. Like that. Alright, and here of course then we will filter out copper cables, which we will then put out over here, and iron plates can go into a box for personal use for right now. And then here as well, we can make 4 more. We'll have this thing actually hooked up by green wire, and we'll disable this if we have more than 5,000 plates. We'll go underneath here and we'll make a little def loop. Right, like this. And now we should be able to get rid of our green computer chips. And we could do this probably even faster, but I think this works out nicely. So we get rid of all of the excess products. Laser weaponry has finished. Let us research Gleba, I suppose, because why not? We need to make that planet. Actually, that reminds me, we have not even made a new planet. Well, we'll make this a novice, and we'll say Gleba rocket. We'll make that, and hopefully, I think, if I remember correctly here on novice, yes, we are making these. So we will now be yeah, there it goes. We will have our new platform pretty soon, and we can copy paste our old platform. All right, so we'll put a symbol over here with another special symbol, a little skull. Can we? Yes, that works out nicely. So we can see here we get rid of that stuff. Now the trains that are coming here take a super roundabout loop to get here. So basically they leave here, they go over here, but they don't have a way of getting from here down to here. So they go all this way around again. So they go from here all the way around, and then they follow this trail to get over here. So what we really want to do is connect up this rail segment to this area over here, and I wonder if we can do it. I'm not entirely sure. Alternatively, it would be nice if we could connect it up through here as well, I suppose. Still not ideal, but yeah, we have limited options. There's really not a lot we can do if we cannot go through here, I suppose. So we'll give that a try. We're doing something super weird here, but I couldn't go to the right, but we can go down here. And now we need to make sure that we can properly cross this area right here. So we'll make a little crossroads, right like that. This is super ugly, but it is going to work at least. So there is that. We'll have to put an input like that, change signal on this side and another one on that side. Yeah, and now we need to find a way to connect this up. Holy crap, that is horrendous. Oh man, really? That is... Ugh. I need this to get the other way around, like that, I suppose. There is no other easy way of doing it, I think. Ugh, that is horrible. That is so ugly. Through here we also couldn't really go for the stations. Like this. This looks a little bit better, I suppose. We'll hook it up like that. Oh man, that is so ugly, but yeah, at this point we need the functionality. Until we can build this stuff down deep below, there's no other way. Ah, crap, no way. Okay, this works, I guess. No, it does still need the real supports. Can we do it like this, maybe? Oh man, that is so horrible. All right, so we need cliff explosives, I guess, to build it like that. God. All right, let's see what else we can do here. Could go down. Man, really? That is so ugly. Oh, man, that is... Alright, we'll do it like this. We'll get rid of that thing for right now, I guess. And this one. And that thing. Alright, that will work. Yeah, sure. Man, this planet is so cursed. I just hooked up the trains. It works, but they forced me to make some horrendous designs, man. And at least until we can build onto the deep oil sticks here. But in the meantime, it is about time we start making the electromagnetic plants. Also, we can finish off this little area. So let's see. We have an unloading. We also need a loading station. That's another thing that we need to leave space for. So I am not going to build up in this area, but I guess we'll start building over here. We'll clear this space. The robots will do their work, and then we'll have first of all one of these, and then we'll hook it up, and then we'll see what the layout for this is. Alright, so we have input over here, input over there, and then we'll have a bunch of these. Like so. And then of course we need to protect this stuff like that. Alright, let's hook this up. And we are making science, if not ever so slowly. We have the materials. I hooked them up through this area over here, and I made sure, because the throughput is so low, we'll have super fast unloading, but then we'll combine the belts, alright, the inputs from all of these items over here, like that. And I think that will be fine, except, yeah, we just don't have enough power to run this, apparently, which is kind of weird, because we have full power. So is this not... No, I guess this is not hooked up properly, huh? Now it should be. There we go. Which is weird, because they were producing just before. I don't know what changed. Alright, so we'll put this over here. Now we need to make 2 train stations over in this area, because we do have some scrap and we need another scrap train. So we'll make that, and we'll make a train for science. And I just need to make sure that I can hook up to this. And then we'll, like, again, this looks super horrible, but we'll have to make it work. It's just the nature of this planet, I suppose. Also, all of this cleanup of all of the ruins. The robots make it a lot easier, but yeah, it's not great. Alright, so we will put this over here, and I guess we'll... yeah. I need to clean this mess up as well. And that mess, and this mess, and that mess over there. And then we'll connect this up. And how did that happen? There we go. And I removed a super important pylon, it seems. So let's not do that. I'll make a bunch more and we'll protect this entire island as well. Alright, well, we are making 2 trains. One of them is going to transport just electromagnetic science packs, so we will reserve that hold, and the other thing will be bringing along scrap. So we will filter this to scrap. I have a ton of scrap in my pocket, which is perfect, so we'll just dump that right here. We'll dump this in here. And both of these need fuel. Alright, so now we need inputs. And we're going to have to... yeah, basically, because space is so limited, we have to double up all of these areas. We need to make some steel chests. We need to put this into... onto the top there, I guess. We'll be fine. Right, and then also, of course, we need to set up miners. Alright, artillery shell damage 2 has finished, and then it is time to start researching some more important stuff like turbo transport belts. Yeah, that seems about right. That is good. Alright, and then we will start mining some stuff over here, I suppose. Well, this is 120k. I suppose we can make this work because it is close by for the moment. Well, the train station is set up. We are producing scrap, and now we just need to make sure that this stuff goes to the right place. So this is going to go from science and scrap pick up to the rocket drop-off. There we go. Here, of course, this is going to be waiting for a full cargo. Time passed. Or inactivity, and we're going to add an interrupt, of course. This will be or. This will be an empty cargo, time passed, or inactivity. And then we'll send this thing on its way. And then this thing... ah, it counts as connected. We do not want that to be connected. Alright. Off you go. That is supposed to be 2 separate trains. So, you are going to go from science scrap and pick up to, instead, the scrap drop off. And you're going to be waiting for an empty cargo, time passed, or inactivity. Alright, so yeah, you're going to be loading scrap. That's all you can take. You're going to be full. And then you're going to go through here. Look at that. Oh, Fulgoran, what have you made me do? That is so horrible. Alright, we'll jump out over here because of course we need here to be filtering out science packs. Alright. actually this can go straight into red chests. And we'll have an unlimited supply because, well, we'll be putting some roboports down over here. Because, yeah, okay, maybe we don't need that on the whole island, though I guess once we're here we might as well dump one over here as well. Alright, because we need some robots. We have some in our pockets, so we'll get rid of some logistic bots over here. And of course, well, we'll need to make sure that we have some more storage. So we'll dump some more accumulators in over here. Because power is sacred, power is everything, and we cannot have enough of it. Alright. Now then, let us see. The Fulgoran rocket is going to be not requesting this. It is going to be requesting science packs. And we're going to ask for 600, I suppose. I don't know, what is the stack size? Or the rocket size, actually, because that is what... Yeah, okay, 1000. So, the Fulgoran rocket needs to ask for 1000. Right. And then this could go back and forth automatically. Of course, our rocket silo here needs to be accepting of this. Meanwhile, new research means we'll hook up, yeah, steel productivity, because that is good, that's useful. Alright, so the Vulcanus rocket. Let us copy this right now. And then we'll go to the Fulgoran rocket and we'll paste that. Ah crap, I did that the wrong way. Alright, so we'll get rid of this. And this one will be changed to electromagnetic. And then we're going to add a station at Fulgoran. And here the cargo item count needs to be 1000, equal to 1000. And then we're going to check for circuits conditions. Over 10,000. And thruster oxidizer needs to be over 10,000. And this one, of course, needs to be... Oh, come on. Sometimes my mouse is a little bit sensitive, which is really strange. Yes, this needs to be asking for 1000. And then we'll put this to automatic, and now this thing can go back and forth. It was... Wait, where are you going? That is not correct, right? Here you should not be unloading. We'll go to Fulgoran. I guess it was kind of in the middle. Because we need to have 1000 of these, and it's not looking for that, I suppose. That is kind of strange. Let's keep an eye on this. Alright, it's slowing down. It is now in Fulgoran. Alright, so now it has checked against the circuits, and this is correct because we are over 10k, we have 23k, and now it's waiting for electromagnetic science packs to be loaded, which we do have, but not enough. Alright, and that is it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and a comment below if you enjoyed this content and wish to see more. And I will see you guys for whatever video I do next.